Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talk Local to Me, and hosted by the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I am Heather Alto, and I guess I'm still the host. It's been year now, Woody? Y'all haven't kicked me out, haven't shut me down.
I think you're in now.
I haven't gotten hardly any thumbs down signs where people don't like me.
No, you do a great job.
Yeah, so that's cool. And congrats to you on all of your listeners or your uploads on all the different podcasts that you have here.
Downloads. It is the holy grail of a podcast.
What's the difference? There's a difference?
I don't know how to tell you, but it is a difference.
Okay. Yes. So
it's a good difference though.
Downloads.
That is like the mark that you go by.
Okay.
And we passed I passed the 1 million download mark. I actually let it go by, and I didn't notice it. Then I was like, well, let me check.
For Talk Local to Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm telling you, that's such a, you think about it, and that's not even, that's really not even a year. With the shows and with the other stuff, and to know that all these shows have been downloaded, together that many times it's really flattering.
Yes, I think, you have a really great variety of shows that are on Grove Street FM.
Thank you.
And again, I'm still going to give a big shout out to your newest one, your Why So Cold, because
thank you.
I listened again. I'm telling you, I'm stuck on that show. I love true crime, and so wait, hold on. Apparently my daughter forgot that I can't talk to her during the podcast, and she's calling me. But yeah, so the Why So Cold is one of my new favorites.
That means a lot.
Now.
That means a lot. You know why I love hearing that, because that means that those cases are staying alive. That someone is hearing about it and they haven't just drifted away. So I really appreciate that.
So we are today. It feels like spring almost outside. I'm gonna knock on wood, because it's gonna probably get colder again. Tomorrow. It'll be like 20s. No, I don't know how soon, but have you ever seen those memes on Facebook where it's like the different phases of Virginia weather, where it's like fall, spring, and then it's like, back to winter, and then it's like real spring, and then it's like, really
fake summer.
Yeah, fake summer and all this stuff. I feel like, so we're like in fake spring right now, where I feel excited because I hate coats. I don't wear them. I hate them with a passion. That's probably why I get sick every now and then, but I refuse because I hate coats. So, but it's where I want to get my flip-flops back out, and I want to, not go to work. I just want to sit outside and read a book and do all those great things. But then I also want to get in the pool. And so one of the things that we're talking with today, because it's never too early to start thinking about opening up your pool. And getting in it and swimming and just relaxing and having a little R&R. And so I actually have, and I didn't even mean to do that, but I have R&R Pool Care. See, that's why y'all have me around. Y'all need to just, but I have R&R Pool Care with me today in the studio. And I'm going to be talking with them about, if you have a pool and you're looking at when to open it, what to do with it. If you've never, maybe you've just bought a house that has a pool and you don't know what you're doing with it. Or, maybe you've been opening your own pool and you're just tired of doing that, because I don't know why you would want to. Less work for me is the better. And then we're going to talk with them about all of the great things that they do to help you open up your pool, getting ready for the season, and even closing pools at the end of the year, which we don't want to talk about because that's sad. It's so sad. I hate Labor Day comes and you're like, all the pools are shutting down. You can't wear white. It's a sad day. But and then I also have Melody with Chapel Creek Farms here with me again today, and we're going to be talking about an event they have coming up in March, and then again about just their beef programs. Again, I want to kind of highlight those, because when I think of spring and summer and I think of pools, I also think of cooking out and having some quality beef to throw on the grill. And I know that Chapel Creek has that. So we're gonna do that. So first of all, welcome to Ryan and Jennifer. I'm gonna throw you in there, even though you said you're not gonna talk, but I just want to say hi. But they're the owners of R&R Pool Care. So thank you for coming on with me today.
Thanks for having us.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, how did R&R Pool Care get started?
Oof.
How long have you been doing the whole pool thing?
The whole pool thing, I actually started right out of high school with a competitor.
Okay.
And then after a handful of years, I decided that I really valued relationships with my customers. And it just kind of grew from there. And I just wanted that one-on-one with each customer, knowing the history and this and that. You're looking at the company here. So if you call, you're going to get one of us. So, and we pride ourselves on that.
And I think that's important. I know that, with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, that's what we focus on is local business and the importance of when you're calling. A lot of our members they're small business. They're family owned. There's maybe 1 to 5 employees if they're lucky. Most of them are family, or they just have a small employee base. But I think that is what's so important is that that you're going to get that care and the quality, and it's not just a bunch of people on the other end with a room full of telephones and or a room full of stuffy suit people that are just calling out from the other, hey, someone go help this person, because you're getting that quality care, right. And I think that's important.
We actually have a bit of a complicated history because, like I said, I started right out of high school. That was back in 2000. In 2008, that's when I officially decided to go out on my own. And then I had kids and I wanted the insurance and all that stuff. So I took a day job, and this became a hobby. And now 2 years ago, right before COVID, I decided to open and expand. I was, for probably about a decade, I was a little known secret. Friends and family would pass me on and, hey, can you come do this and do that? I never really stopped. I just slowed down.
Right.
And then I decided, this is what I want to do. This is where my passion is. And I went 2 feet in. I jumped right in to the deep end.
Oh, look at us. We're going to have so much fun today making comments. But, so you were saying that and I've heard this from a lot of businesses in the past, 2 years, how many have started right before COVID hit. And it was so many, I've had businesses that have opened right before or had been in the process of opening, right before COVID hit and things shut down. How did that affect you as far as your, your business or just your business model opening up?
I'm going to be honest. COVID blew the swimming pool industry out of the water.
Again,
we'll
be here. Well, yeah, I was going to say we'll be here all day, folks.
Right. Luckily, we don't build swimming pools, so let me just throw that out there. But a lot of the local people do. So I've been able to focus on more repairs and maintenance, while the other guys are out there building. And it's not that we partnered or anything, but it's a nice thing. They're able to focus on the building, and the supply chain has been ridiculously complicated because a lot of things come from China.
Right.
And it's taking longer to get things. And then, I think we mentioned last year, I guess that's still in the thick of COVID, Hurricane Laura wiped out the largest chlorine factory down in Louisiana.
Right.
And I don't have a percentage, but I've heard anywhere from 50 to 70% of chlorine tablets came from that factory. So that has increased the price. Demand has increased the price. It's just harder to get a lot of things.
I saw someone the other day posting about wanting to change their pool over from the chlorine to salt water.
Yeah.
And I'm one, and a lot of it was because of that reason, because chlorine has gotten so hard to get, for one. And are you seeing more of your customers, or is that something you can help with?
It absolutely is something. Again, a lot of those parts come from China though. So things are taking a little while to get, but that is definitely, there's been a huge spike in switching to salt water. And this is a little joke in the pool industry. Saltwater pools are chlorine pools. It's just using electrolysis to turn the salt into chlorine.
Okay.
And then once the bacteria eats up the chlorine, it turns back into salt. And then it's just an endless cycle.
Okay.
You're only losing the salt through splash out, dilution, those types of things.
Okay. So you're still got the chlorine in there.
The chlorine is still in there. It's still safe. It's tried and true. And a lot of people think that a salt pool is going to taste like the ocean. Mm-hmm. The ocean has roughly 30 teaspoons of salt to a glass of water. A salt pool only has about 2.
Okay.
So when you gargle your mouth out with salt water, that's probably stronger than the pool water is going to taste.
You know, I hadn't really thought about that.
Not that you should be drinking your pool water.
Yeah. Drink your pool
I could talk
water.
about that for 30 minutes, but
About why you should not drink your pool water.
absolutely.
I mean, maybe I should sit down and tell my kids, because half the time, I always wonder like how much they ingest, because they're just like, jumping up and down and screaming, and the next thing you know, they're choking because they've been splashing each other, and but good times,
Yeah.
no matter how much, I guess, pool water you're drinking. But yeah. So tell me a little bit too with pools. What is the best time to start opening your pool? If you've got a pool out in your backyard, when do you want to look at actually, is it the dreaded, it's like the Memorial Day to Labor Day really true, or do you see an influx beforehand?
Actually, I mean, with where we live in Central Virginia, we have, this kind of spring.
Right.
The rule of thumb is actually you want to get your pool open and circulating before the water temperature hits 60 degrees, because that's when algae is going to grow. Doing this for the last 20 some years, I have found that mid-March to mid-April is not too early. It's a lot of people want to wait for the pollen, and I can understand that. We do a weekly service. We get to see what the pollen does to things. Mm-hmm. There's solutions out there to help with pollen collecting and messing up the filters and all that stuff. But if you're waiting too long, you open up to a green/black pool. It's gross. Those are a number one call that we get.
Oh,
people take the cover.
Remember them well.
Yeah, people take the cover off and they're like, "Nope, I'm not going to deal with that." So, I don't mind if you want to wait that long, but like I said, there's a chlorine shortage, so you probably don't want to wait too long.
I remember, so my grandparents had a pool when I was younger. They had one of the above ground, pools. And I honestly do not think my grandfather ever put a cover over it. But he was hardcore. Like, it was Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so I remember, he would drain the pool of the water right before, and we all had to jump in with brushes and scrub the algae and the green. And you'd have tadpoles swimming around in it, and little frogs, and oh my gosh, as much as I loved to swim throughout the summer in that pool, I hated when it was the time to get it ready and to get it. So I do not recommend waiting till it gets to looking like that, especially if you don't want to deal with
I do not recommend
tadpoles.
doing a pool like that. I've taken so many classes this past winter. So
does it become more expensive for the homeowner if you have to come in and work on a pool has gotten to that point?
Absolutely. It's just like any kind of home maintenance thing. If you don't, preventative maintenance is usually cheaper than trying to repair the damage that's been done.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, that was a big part of why I got into doing this, is people doing the weekly maintenance. That wasn't something that was offered in this area back in the early 2000s. And it did more than that. It gave me a chance to build relationships with my customers other than seeing them once or twice a year. I got to see them on a weekly basis if they wanted to see me. But I also got to know their pool, because every pool has a personality. if I go to Jennifer's pool and she's got the big oak tree over in the right-hand corner, I kind of, the first time or two, I don't exactly know how the pool is going to react to the environment around it.
Mm-hmm.
But after I've been going out there for a season, I absolutely know that the big oak tree is going to drop 1,000 leaves in the right-hand corner, and I know that I'm going to walk into a mess every week or after the rainstorm. You know, I just know how the environment's going to affect my customers' pools. And I wake up thinking about my customers' pools. Like, did it rain? Did it snow? She can testify to that. But like, oh, I need to go check out on this person because we had that big windstorm.
Right.
You know, it seems silly, but it's just.
So weekly maintenance, I guess, is different for everyone. But what does like maintenance look like? Like, what are the things you check for when you are at, you know, different pools as far as, you know, getting them serviced?
So typically with our maintenance plans, we do an open and close weekly visit between open and close throughout the year. And once the pool is actually open and up and running, and we take care of making sure the skimmers are cleaned out, getting those frogs and all those nasty things out that people do not want to touch. We do check the water chemistry, make sure everything is safe and balanced, which is going to prolong the life of the liners or the pool shell if it's a fiberglass or a plaster pool. Making sure that kids aren't going to drink water that's going to give them, you know, diarrhea or other things.
Sick stomach.
Making sure that the filters are cleaned.
Drink a good old tadpole every now and then. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure I have on more than one occasion. And then just actual physical cleaning of the pool, making sure that the leaves and the bugs and all that stuff are taken care of, skimming off the top, brushing down the pool. Brushing your pool is like brushing your teeth. It takes care of most of the problems, because if you're not brushing your pool at least one thorough time a week, the algae just builds up on the side of the walls, and then it just starts taking over. So if you can just remove it, so that way it's getting filtered out, it's going to take care of a majority of the problems. Okay.
Now you have a like a benefit club that your members can, or the people that you service can be a part of.
We do.
What does that entail?
We call that our club, and that's kind of what I was just talking about. Once you sign up with us, we put the rest and relaxation back into the pool. You call us, we take care. We put you on the schedule to open, and then we come out once a week, and we do everything that I just talked about. And we will send you an email after each visit, letting you know what's going on. If we saw any problems, if we did see a problem, we'll say, hey, do we have your permission to take care of this? And then it's just that way up until the end of the summer. And then we're like, hey, it's time to close. Or do you want to stay open for another week or two? You know, and then we just close it down, make sure it's winterized. So that way next year, you're not going to have any problems.
Okay. Now, do you install like the pool liners? I know you said you don't build the pools, but like, do you work on the liners, or if like a liner comes pulls away from the wall of the pool?
Absolutely.
Like, can you fix those?
We do leak detection in vinyl liner pools. We do replacement of vinyl liner. And we will, and like you were just talking about, sometimes it'll pop out. We will attempt to fix that. We make no guarantees, obviously, because depending on the age of the vinyl, it could cause more issues than just tacking it in place.
I only know that happens because my sister's pool, she just got it like built. Because if you want to get a pool built right now, you're looking at like 2 years out or something. And so it took them a couple of years to finally get their pool that was open for the first time last summer. And I just remember like we hadn't been in it a month, and like it popped away from the side. And luckily my son has worked with the pool stuff before, and he was there, and he was actually able to fix it, which was like, oh, look at you doing something good. But I just knew that they popped out, occasionally. So I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
often that happens.
It's a lot more common than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Especially with the change in the weather, like he was the roller coaster.
yeah,
Mhm.
when
For
it
sure.
gets hot, cold, that
Yeah.
vinyl will warm up and it gets loose and it'll just pop out of the track.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yes, we absolutely do that. And that's one of those supply chains. I used to pride myself in saying if you order on a Monday, I would most likely be putting it in the next Monday. We have been finding over the last 2 years that that is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
It is taking anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to get a liner to our doorstep so that we can get out there and put it in.
You're going to see more people going to Walmart and just buying them little pop-up pool things nowadays because that's all you can still get those sort of
Yeah.
occasionally.
There has definitely been an increase in those sales as well because, like you said, there's a 2-year wait
Yeah.
for builders to be building.
Now, one question that I have seen in the past, because I follow a lot of if I'm on a Facebook recommendation page, I'll see people asking for different things. Do you do any work with hot tubs? Because I've seen people before say, "Do you know of anyone who can come and clean a hot tub?" And I don't know. I cannot remember if I've ever seen where anyone does. And if it's something that you do but you don't want people to know about, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. But I just know I've seen people talk about them, and I just thought I'd ask.
So we've kind of branched out into the weekly maintenance for those as well.
Okay.
That is something that we've been toying with. As far as like repairs and stuff like that, it really just depends on the make and model of the hot tub because, I mean, you can take your Toyota to the Honda guy and he's probably going to understand it, but he's just not a master of that. So there are certain hot tubs that I have been certified on and things like that. I can easily get parts for some, and others I have to go digging around, and I just, there's just different parts.
Okay. I just wondered if there was some, because everyone, you see people ask for it and people are like, I don't know who does it. I'm like, is there something wrong with hot tubs? Like, people don't want to mess with them. But, I don't know.
Well,
Also depends on how old the hot tub is.
That's
Is
true.
it more of a pain to repair it versus we
Just get a new one. Yeah, I can see that
And then
too.
they're waiting 2 years on those too. So I mean,
yeah, right now to buy a hot tub, it's anywhere from 26 to 72 weeks to get a
Wow.
new hot tub. So at least that's what I'm hearing. I do not sell hot
I did
tubs.
see one getting delivered on the way here.
Yeah, we did.
See, I'm just going to put water in my bathtub. Real
Heat it
hot.
up.
Just
I'm not
splash
gonna-
around in it
I'm
for
not
a
gonna-
minute.
I'm not even going to tell you what kind of hot tub we have because you know we're farmers.
Oh.
Johnny made one.
Did he make it with like a
I know what you
a
have.
metal?
Actually, it's hard industrial plastic.
Oh.
Oh,
And it actually has a slide in it, so I don't know if people get it for their ducks or something like that, but it is in our deck, and he has made the best hot tub in the world
That's
from
awesome.
that's awesome.
the farm store. Like all parts
love
of
it.
I was
Start
gonna say
selling
like
it.
all parts were from Bedford, but
Right.
not all at the same
Yeah.
place. So yeah, that's how the farmers do hot tubs.
I love
That's
it. See, I'm
awesome.
gonna go home and tell my husband that because I've been trying to get him to get me. See, we live in good old Bedford County where we have the well, and so he's always nervous about anytime I say let's get a pool. Well, first of all, I have to listen to. We have to find the flat land, and then we got to put the sand, and then we got to do this, and it just becomes like, okay. So, but then it's like he doesn't want to fill the pool with. And drain the well. And so then I was like, well, can I get a hot tub? Well, you know how much water that's going to take. And then they're heavy. So then you have to reinforce the deck. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't win.
I'm going to argue
Okay.
with how much water that is. A hot
It's
tub
not-
is not that much water.
Okay.
It's about 4 bathtubs full.
See, yeah.
I mean,
That's
Just
what
tell
I
the
need
kids
in my
to
life.
slow down on the baths 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
You just
And
need
they
to
would
fill
be
the
fine
hot
with
tub,
that.
and then
Yeah.
they get in the hot tub, and then they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, I already done 2 kids are out of my house, so I ain't got to
See?
worry about them. It's just
Yeah,
little
yeah.
Riley.
You're
But-
already on your
But-
way.
But the deck is going to be the expensive
Yeah.
part,
Yes.
especially right now.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
That's
because we
true.
have a concrete deck, so
Right.
our
Ours-
hot tub is fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still would like one, but I guess for now I'm just,
But
going
it's a
to have
good
to go to my
compromise.
sister's house and splash in her pool and get in her hot tub.
That's
I'll just
right.
live there. But so real quick before we get off, let's talk a little bit about pool safety and just maintaining your chemicals and stuff once you're done if you do have them at your home and things like that. what do y'all talk with your homeowners about the importance of all of that and how you hear a lot of pool stories and
So yes, we do talk to our customers about that. And the reason I hesitate is actually last year, I have a customer that owns an Airbnb, and 911 was dispatched out last year. Everyone was safe, but there was a very close call. A child, not even
Teenager.
like a teenager, who didn't know how to swim, went out, got in the pool, thought they knew what they were doing, and then started to drown. And then an adult jumped in, and anybody that's ever taken swimming lessons has heard a drowning person will take you down with them. And that they almost did. So
The second adult had to come in. So that was 3 people to finally get them out.
yeah, okay.
right.
It's a close call.
It was a very close call. At that moment in time, Jennifer and I were going to bed that night, and we were talking about it, and we made a decision that any safety items we are not going to upcharge at all. We give them at cost to anybody that wants them, as long as I can get them in stock. So there is one exception. We just went to Atlantic City for a trade show, and I don't want to say partnered. We picked up a new vendor for an amazing camera. I know home security has become readily available, but this one is actually extremely cool. It has an AI software that will alert, or it knows when someone is in distress in the pool. So not only will it tell you that somebody's in the pool area, or an animal, it'll say whether it's an animal or a human. But if someone gets into the water and they start to thrash around in such a way that looks like drowning, it will text or alert up to 5 different phone numbers.
Oh, wow.
911 not being one of those numbers, but if you tell the neighbor that, hey, I'd like to set you up on this, so that way you can run over and look if I'm not home. Or I guess you could just go ahead and dispatch right to, call 911. Hey, I think, because you'll be able to see it, someone's in my pool and they are going down now.
Right.
Because I guess you do have to worry as a pool owner about people that just come and get in your pool when you're not there. And I know that's one of the reasons I think they put, isn't there a law or something where you have to have some sort of gated area around a pool?
There has to be a fence.
Okay.
And
But we have both witnessed someone scale a
I'm
7-foot fence right in front of us and jump into a pool.
Yeah, we were working on a commercial pool
That was barely full.
Barely full.
The person is lucky they didn't break a leg.
I just dumped in 15 gallons of acid, and
because we were
more than that, we were preparing the pool. We drained it and we were filling it back up. I put in all kinds of chemicals, and they jumped right into 2.5, 3 feet of water. It was a crazy situation.
One of them is a dare. And that's what I'm saying. That's the type of people you get. Like, people are, I dare you to go do this. And then that's when you hear these horror stories of like, well, we didn't think about what the repercussions would be.
Right. And that's one of those things where, I mean,
you can only do so much. Right.
I mean, I chased him down and he was gone, but because I wanted to make sure that he was okay. He wasn't speaking, like he wasn't talking to us or anything. We've got some crazy stories. So, but I wanted to make sure that he rinsed off, because he just jumped into a small body of water with a large amount of acid in it. So I was like, that's not smart.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I guess he learned his lesson. Hopefully.
Well, and you mentioned chemical storage.
Yes.
That would be another big benefit to the Art Club that he was talking about earlier, is that they don't have to do that with our club. We keep all the chemicals with us. We only leave on site what might be needed.
Okay.
But nothing like that would, catch on fire.
That was a decision that we made also after the chlorine plant caught on fire. We were noticing that our customers were just throwing all their chemicals in like a small area.
Deck box or something.
That's not safe. So if you're doing that, please make sure that you're keeping them in a cool, dry, and out of sunlight, because they can combust. And I've been to more than one house where I opened up the chlorine tablets and they got water in them and they start creating that chlorine gas. It knocked me out one time. Like literally, I passed out. Luckily, somebody was there and they were able to. It was one of those beginning.
Yes. And see, that's why it is good to have a professional handle your stuff, because I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, I would not have thought. And again, I want the best in chemistry. I don't math, all of that good stuff. I'm a bookworm, but I would not have sat here and thought about chlorine catching fire or emitting gases that could potentially knock me out or kill me or, anything like that. So I'd have just been doing I don't even know what my grandfather did. Well, no, I do. I think he had a really cool basement. That's where all his stuff was. So I guess we did okay with that. But I mean, other than that, though, I wouldn't have known. I'd have just thrown it over in a corner, probably.
I think people think, chlorine can get wet. It goes in the pool, right?
Right.
It can get wet. It's
Yeah.
fine. All of
But
this
there's a
stuff can
chemical
get wet.
reaction going on there
Right.
and I could tell you all these cool things, but I don't want to give people ideas on the radio. But
Disclaimer.
Right. Wear your gloves, wear some sort of eye protection, be careful, add chemicals to water, don't add water to chemicals. That is a number one chemistry 101 rule, because if you add water to chemicals, there's a much higher chance of reaction, a negative reaction. Either a gas is created or even fire or an explosion in some cases. So that there's a lot to a pool. They're fun, but in a lot of ways they're not safe. I mean, you've got fire, you've got electrical, you've got drowning hazards. So we take safety very seriously, especially after last year. Like I said, I mean, I got a text message late that night after that happened. So I really, when something hits close to home, you really start thinking about it more.
Right. So, what area do y'all service? All over? Jennifer's face is everywhere.
If it was up to Jennifer, we would service everywhere.
We've gone all the way to the Eastern Shore.
We're not doing that again.
Okay.
So
Not for travel reasons.
I would say Lynchburg, Concord, Appomattox, Bedford.
Central and Southwest Virginia, I guess, would be a
yeah.
good classification, because he does have several clients in Roanoke. And mainly just because, like he said, the big people, they're busy. These 2 years on pool building, if they're trying to focus on that, we don't have time to open your pool.
Right.
Or,
Or fix the liner or whatever the case may be.
The maintenance of it.
right.
And then we've just gotten 2 or 3 Roanoke people that just keep coming back, and that's what we want.
They couldn't get anybody scheduled back during the early part of COVID because for whatever reason. And I went out, they enjoyed the service, and they just keep calling me back. So I keep going. So yeah, I would say
Central Southwest.
Yeah, Central and Southwest.
Okay. So if someone is listening in and they're like, I have got to get in touch with you guys and have you come out and check out their pool, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
I'm going to say our Facebook page.
Okay.
She is, as you know, a Facebook expert, and she is quick to reply. Because it's just the two of us, I'm usually out in the field. I try to get back to people as quick as possible. But if I'm, waist deep in the water and trying to find a leak, it's going to be a little bit slower for me to get back to you. They could reach me by telephone if they want to leave a message. And my number is 434-546-9236. And they can also text that number as well. But if you're looking for a quick reply or it's an emergency, I would actually say reach us on our Facebook page.
Okay. And that's Facebook. It's our Pool Care.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. So if you are listening and you're thinking that you want to get your pool open tomorrow because it's so nice out, they're probably not going to be able to get to you tomorrow, but you might want to get them a call and get them in. How quickly are y'all booked up right now? Or
We have actually, we've talked to all of our customers from last year, and everybody's already on the books to
Okay.
be opened up and scheduled for their weekly maintenance. There's still room.
Oh, we'll see. There you go.
We actually still have a few spots left for the weekly maintenance plan. There's only so many pools that we can reach every week, so we have that limited.
But openings, we've got plenty of room as of right now.
Openings, or
Okay.
if you go to turn on your pool pump and it's louder than a blowhorn, or grinding, or it just needs to be replaced, we're more than happy to do that for you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank y'all for coming on with me. I love having informative guests on, because I learn something new every time. Like, not that I pretend like I know how to open a pool. Like, I don't. But like, I think it's nice, because when I am out and about and I'm talking and someone says, hey, like, we're looking at this, I can go, oh, I just had so and so on and they said this and you need to call them. And I think it's great to have local businesses on that we can refer. And, hopefully those listening in, if you're doing it at home and you're doing it yourself, think to yourself, should you be doing this yourself? Or do you really want to? I'm gonna tell you, after all those years of cleaning out that yuck, oh no, I do not. So definitely check out R&R Pool Care and give Ryan and Jennifer a call, and I'm sure they'd be happy to help you guys out. So thank y'all for coming on with me.
Thanks for having us.
We are, again, I know I mentioned earlier, we talked about pools, and if I'm down for a good cookout in a pool any day, every weekend would be good for me. I have a big family. I also have a family that loves to be together. And so I'm lucky in that aspect, and I'm also lucky that I have a sister that has a pool. So, I'm checking off a lot of boxes.
You're living your best life.
I am living it is nice. But, Chapel Creek Farms. It's so great to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So I know we've had Melody on the show before, and we have talked a lot about the different products that they have at Chapel Creek, and we've talked about your beef shares. But I want to kind of chat again, because there's some people that probably with a million downloads, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
a million downloads, all
Yes.
for Talk Local to Me now. But if people have downloaded and we've got some new listeners and new, we want to bring it up again. So tell us a little bit just off the top about Chapel Creek Farms for those who may have not heard.
Okay, well, like you said, I'm Melody Divers, and I am the mama to Chapel and Creek. Our farm is named after our boys. Creek is 15 and Chapel is 11. Together, Johnny and I, we are raising our boys in this lifestyle, and we are very grateful for that. So Chapel Creek Farms, we are a local beef farm and an apple orchard. We have a venue space, which is the cider barn. During cider and apple season, you can find the world's best unpasteurized apple cider, and we have apples all from Bedford County. And then what we have all the time is our beef. So you can just come into the store on weekends, which is the cider barn in Montvale. That's our storefront, and you can pick up brisket, filet. You can get ribs, ground beef, all the things that you were talking about to live your best life with good food.
Yes.
And so all of our, whether it's you're getting apples or peaches or cider or beef, you can rest assured that all of that is raised by us on our farms, and it's all Bedford County. And I think, the COVID word, pandemic word floats around, and I think really whether it's local businesses or local farms, the good part, the silver lining of the pandemic has been that a lot of wise consumers have realized that they have a lot in their backyard, whether it's local businesses or food that hasn't been trucked a ridiculous distance or from another country. So I think the security and knowing who is raising your food, being able to talk to them, seeing the farm, the transparency of that, I think people have really took to finding the benefits of eating local, shopping local, doing business local. So those are all, and I'm a positive person, so those are the positive things that have come from that.
And I can 100% attest to the quality of actually almost every product you just said, because I've had the apples, I have had the apple cider, which my daughter loved, and we've done the beef box. So your hamburger has spoiled me. I don't even like, it used to be like I wouldn't get hamburger from Walmart. Sorry people, if you like Walmart's hamburger, not for me. So I used to would only get it from like Food Lion or here in Bedford, Elba's, because they have their butcher place there. So I used to get my meat there. But like your hamburger is amazing. The cube steak is phenomenal. And
That is our favorite.
We've had steaks. I've had roast. I'm trying to remember everything I got in my box, but
Patties, I think, because I think you had a family function and you
yes.
didn't share, which
no, I didn't share.
No,
I
you
didn't
did
share.
not.
So yeah, because when we do cookouts, we all do bring your own meat, like so that we're not. So
one person
whichever
doesn't have to.
Yeah,
This really
whoever.
isn't fair to me right now. It is lunchtime.
I know,
And you guys
sorry.
are talking about all this, and I just
We
want to
should've-
taste it all.
We should have had a grill outside, throwing some
Yeah.
hamburgers on.
Yes.
Bucket list next time.
But yeah, I do remember I did not share because I'm very picky about my meat, and I liked how your burgers are like they're not too thick, but they're not too they're just perfect. And like I told my family when they were putting them on I was like, you better make sure those are mine. Don't put them near your burgers. I'll know where yours came from, but you're not having any of mine. So yeah, talk a little bit about your beef share. How does that work, and do y'all have openings coming up in the next few months?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. On Monday, we had our first beef share pickup of the calendar year. So we were able, on our first time, 10 customers came in. 8 of those customers bought a quarter beef, which is about 80 pounds of beef in a quarter. About half of that will be ground beef. The other parts will be roast, steaks, ribs, things like that. We had 2 people buy half beef, which is 160 pounds of take-home meat. So the cider barn was humming on Monday with pickups and people coming to pick up. Of those people on Monday, I believe 8 out of 10 were repeat beef share customers.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people are buying a quarter beef every 6 months, or they're buying a half beef once a year. We offer quarter, half, and whole, and it really just depends on your freezer space and your budget. Our quarter is the most popular because it's not overwhelming, and people feel like they use that meat up in a timely fashion. Nothing stays around too long. And with a beef share, you really get to pick what you want in your freezer. So if you don't like beef ribs, then you just decline that and it'll get turned into your ground beef portion. Or if you prefer your steaks to be 1.5 inches thick versus 1 inch, you get a say in that. So that's again, putting consumers in the driver's seat. We're offering a product to consumers. Consumers have the right and the wonderful gift of being able to make these decisions on not only what they're feeding their family, but how it's packaged. Or, do you want 2 cube steaks per package, or is your family a big family and you need like 4 in a package? So those are all things that you get a say in. Right now we are sold out. Till mid-May, but we have openings all the way through, we have, like I said, mid-May through September, and then we have to take a pause because you can't process beef and deer during the same season, so we take a little pause, and we want to follow the rules. All of our beef, whether you buy from our storefront or from our beef share, is USDA inspected, and not everybody does that with beef shares. Because legally you don't have to, but we do. Because what we found out is when the pandemic came, people were disappointed in the grocery chains. So they were, a lot of times, our customers were first-time beef share purchasers. So doing the USDA inspection really gives them that extra layer of security to let them know that extra eyes are on
Right.
what they're eating.
So with the rising cost of beef that I've even noticed in stores, this is actually, I would say, looking at your prices, it's pretty equivalent. I mean, it's not like you're paying too much more, but you're getting better.
You're getting
quality
better
meat.
quality. And something we have really prided ourselves on is when we started selling in the storefront, March of 2020. It was actually the weekend that everything was getting ready to shut down. That just happened to be literally the weekend that we're like, this is it, we're doing it. Anyway, the majority of our beef cut prices per pound have stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
We did notice at the processor there was per animal an increase, but we figured out a way to take care of that without it being a major production, without scare tactics or anything like that, pressure, guilt buying or anything like that. As of right now, our beef share prices did not go up, and that is our goal. And so that information's on our website. A few cuts did go up in the store, but honestly, we stay very fair. And like one thing, like we don't have a bag budget. I know that sounds silly. So we tell people, bring a cooler, bring a thermal coat. And I know that may sound kind of funny, but that's one way we can keep prices down is we don't purchase cute little bags. So when you come, make sure that you bring a bag with you. And another thing is we do have limited hours because you have to heat the barn in the winter and things like that. So those are things we do to make a conscious decision to not pass on cost to the consumer.
And I just want to point out to those listening, whether you're utilizing, Chapel Creek Farm for your meat, or you're going to R&R Pool Care for your pool needs, or you're using any other local business, you may pay a little bit more, a couple dollars or so, than what you see in the store. But understand that when you're supporting a local business, you're supporting a family. You're supporting the farm. Like Chapel Creek Farms is a family. It is, a husband and wife and their two sons, and you're supporting them, and that money is coming back into your local community. And so when you're talking about, oh, we need roads fixed, oh, we need this done, oh, we need this, infrastructure, that's how you're going to get it. You're going to get it by supporting your local economy. You're not going to get it by shopping from, big box stores and ordering it coming from, China and Amazon and all those things. When you're shopping local, when you're shopping I'll throw even Etsy out there because that is actually a local. I know Woody's wife, Laura. I love just pitching Laura every now and then because her candles are beautiful.
We appreciate it too.
Woody's like, yes, ma'am. But I think that's important because I hear people go, oh, well, I'm not going to get that because it's so much more expensive. Well, maybe, but is it better quality? Are you supporting someone, like I said, not just sitting up in a tower office somewhere twiddling their thumbs like, ha, ha, ha,
And I think quality is another thing that gets overlooked. Like, what he was mentioning, Ryan was mentioning about getting to know your customers. They're not just a number. So part of our beef share program is when you sign up to do a beef share, I know it could be done on the website. I absolutely know. I have a great web guy and I know he can make that happen. But we have a 30-minute contract appointment with each customer with just them sitting down, and we go through the cut sheet. Do you know what this cut is? I can show it to you. Or do you have a suggestion on how do I cook this? So not that I'm a great cook. I like to cook. There's a difference. I like to cook and my family doesn't complain. So I take that as a good thing. My mom loves my food. So that's good. But anyway, so we talk about recipes or how you cook this or things like that. Also, farming practices. We are grass fed and grass finished. Our meat is going to have a healthier factor to it than those raised other ways. And I'm not downing anybody because everybody has their preference, but just rest assured that the fats you see from our beef is going to have a healthier, a more beneficial than those raised other ways. But all in all, the ethics of how you raise an animal, no matter how you finish them out, that speaks volumes. Plenty of fresh air, grass, lush grass always in front of them, not being hip deep in waste. These are all things that matter. And I know some people may have issue with, well, you're a farmer and you raise animals and you know what you're going to do with them. Yes, but it behooves us to treat them with respect because if it wasn't for them, we would not have the life we have. We are full-time farmers. We are not, this isn't a side gig. This isn't the weekend job. This is what we are doing to pay the mortgage, to pay the insurance, to pay all those bills. And so it behooves us to treat our animals with respect and just like a person, what you put in is what comes out. And, we say the same thing to our animals. We want good things for them. And I think you can definitely taste that when you taste our beef.
Yes, so I highly encourage you to check Chapel Creek Farms out, even if it's just to go, maybe you're not sure about the beef share part, but you want to just go grab a pack of hamburger, go when their store is open.
And that's what I suggest to
items.
people. Like, this is a big commitment for your freezer and for your checkbook. So be a wise consumer. Get a few things, maybe like a roast, a steak, and hamburger. Kind of get a little bit of everything. See if it's for you. You're not going to hurt our feelings if it's not. But really kind of test drive it. See if it is for you.
Right. Now you also do. We wanted to talk a little bit about the Cider Barn Craft Fair because y'all do open up your farm for visitors to come in, and you have like crafters and artisans and so tell us a little bit about the one you have coming up in March.
Okay, so our Cider Barn Craft Fair is March the 12th. It'll be from 10 to 2 and it'll be at the Cider Barn, which is 4915 Pike Road in Montvale. It's about 10 to 12 minutes off of 460 depending how fast you drive. You will feel like you're at the end of the earth, but you're not. There's a couple more roads to go before you're at the end of the earth. So we're right before you turn right to go to the end of the earth. So it's free admission, free parking. And I would just like to say this in my nicest mama teacher voice. We are a real farm. So we're going to have real mud puddles. We're going to have, there may be cow pies, okay, in the field. That's because we're real, okay? So when you come, you may have to park in the field. So make sure your shoes are good for that. We are not a manicured little pristine, just for viewing pleasure only farm. We're real. So that's my nicest way I can say that. You are welcome to bring your well-behaved doggy with you. We love dogs. Like, I stop waiting on customers. If your dog is adorable, I'm like, excuse me. Let me come out behind the counter and talk to your dog. So dogs are welcome. Make sure they're on a leash. But anyway, those are just some housekeeping things. But on March the 12th, it's our Spring Cider Barn Craft Fair. It's rain or shine, free admission, free parking. There will be about 20 local vendors, and they're all vendors that make their own wares. So no direct marketing. Our vendor spots are full, and people have planned and are creating and making, and so we're really excited about that. The thing that we're really super proud is this year, for the first time, we will have our hamburgers available for purchase for lunch. So Neil will be fixing hamburgers, and his
game changer.
I know. The macaroni and cheese that he is doing is the best in the galaxy, and that's how I'm advertising it. Best macaroni in the galaxy.
Neil Agee, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
so Neil has done 2 of our Table on the Farm dinners and knocked them out of the park. Just amazing. So we're like, so do you want to make hamburgers? He's like, yes, I do. So it's a simple lunch because we said since this is the first time we've done this, we're going to keep it simple. So burgers, macaroni and cheese, and we'll have some drinks available. I know it's called the Cider Barn Craft Fair. Cider season is over. Apple season is over. So don't get confused or don't become expecting apple cider because that ship has sailed until fall. But anyway, some of the vendors that will be there are Finding Joy Boutique, Bannister Goods, Petal Ridge Farms, The Bomb Girl, Moonlight Mountain Designs, Sun and Spruce Soaps, more. And for that information, you can go to Facebook on vending events at the Cider Barn, Chapel Creek Farms. And then just in general about our beef, our storefront hours, or just our farm in general, you can look on our Facebook page, which is Chapel Creek Farms. But I would say if you want to know particulars about events, beef shares, our farming practices, or anything in between, even renting the barn out for like a graduation party or something like that, all that information can be found on our website, which is chapelcreek-farms.com.
I was out there for the cider festival that you guys did.
October.
October.
It's
And
one of my favorite festivals.
I bought a lot of stuff from your vendors. Most of them that look like they're coming back. I love Bannister Goods. And actually quite a few of them are part of our Centerfest festival that we do in September. But Petal Ridge Farms is actually one of our newer members. And she I'm telling you, she puts together the prettiest like bouquets, and she's so cute because can I just say, she sells like
adorable.
it's like $1 a flower, right? And so I go and I'm like, okay, I have five. I'm gonna take $5. I'm just gonna make this little teeny bouquet. She won't let you.
No.
She won't let you. Like it's like I walked away with a $5, but it was like a bouquet. I could
Like I
have.
could get a wedding.
Yes.
A bridal book. Yes.
Like I could have. I
I
feel
think
like one of those
every
people like
little
it's Miss
girl-
America where you get like the.
I think every little girl in October that walked by her, she gave a flower to. So imagine October, this beautiful day, all these great people, and then every precious little girl is like walking around with a flower. And I'm like, Michelle, you big softie.
She's so cute. Yeah, I was like, she was like, oh, do you like this? Oh, let's put this in there. And let's put this
she
in
has
there. I
a
was
big
like,
heart.
I'm looking at my like I had like $5. I'm like, no, don't worry about it.
And my Miss America wave.
And she just did a pop-up shop at our office too, and she had those beautiful like amaryllis.
Yeah, she had those at our Christmas
bulbs.
open house.
Yes.
And people are tagging her. Like, they opened. Oh my gosh, beautiful.
So I bought one because like I tend to kill flowers, and it was like, oh, you can't, but it's not open. It's like it's just died. But I think it's because it needs to like the new shoots need to open. That's what I'm telling myself because I ordered it like I was supposed to, and
It's in the right light.
I did all the things. I think so. I don't know.
I have a black thumb, so I can't attest to
Yeah.
that at all.
Well, if
Terrible.
you hear me, you might want to come and look at my amaryllis because I think I might have hurt him. But I'm doing all the things to try and keep him keep him happy. But yeah, I love Finding Joy Boutique is one of our members, and that's one of the things I like to tell people with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. We are not just an organization that works with businesses that are like business license. You have to have a brick and mortar. We work with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, crafters, artisans, you name it. If we can help your business grow, that's what we're here for, because we don't think any business is too small. Like there is not it doesn't matter. If you can dream it, you can do it. And that's what we want to help and promote in our area is I've seen, like you were saying, and both of you guys were saying, you both started a plan right before COVID. And I have seen so many small businesses that have thrived and flourished and just continued with the plan and they're doing great things.
And I think, you can't have the negativity of, life has been a little odd here. But we choose to say pivot. And if you can pivot and be successful, then you're going to be okay. If you have made it through this, you're going to be okay. And it's because you didn't let it get you down. And I also think it makes you keep rethinking. How can we do this? What service can we do? Or just be adaptable to what your customers want. And I think that is, if you're willing to flex and work with and think outside the box, I feel like any business, you can make this happen.
Right. And it goes back to, like you both were saying, customer service, knowing your customers, working with them. Everyone's different. Everyone was affected differently by COVID. Some people lost their jobs. Some people don't have the income that they had 2 years ago to do the things that they hoped they were going to. Some are doing well. I know the construction business really did they were booming. Again. They were booming like during, that time period. But, now things are slowing back down. They can't get a lot of the supplies. And so it's always something that's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. So if you have someone that you can rely on or work with, or, I think that's just, it's important to know that there are other people out there. It may not be in the same industry, may be a competitor. You never know where you're going to find help or encouragement. And I just think that's really important. And I'm not really even sure where all that just spun from when I was just talking about small business, but
From your heart.
I get on my soapbox because I love my members. I love small business. I love everything. And so it does. I feel bad when a business shuts down or they're having an issue. And, I sit here and I think, well, what could I have done differently? Like, how could I have helped more? What could, we have done? And it's, but it goes to just show how much a small business community works together. And that's just, it's important. But anyway, back to beef and cider and craft fairs and all that stuff. I'm getting up on my oh, actually, I've only got a minute left. See, I'm getting so excited. Woody's getting ready to like turn my music on and be like, shut up, Heather. So tell everyone one more time how they can reach you for, the Cider Barn and the date and times of the craft fair again.
All right. The Cider Barn Craft Fair is March the 12th from 10 to 2. It's at the Cider Barn, which is also our storefront, 4915 Pike Road in Montvale. Also, On Fridays, we're open 2 to 5, and Saturdays, we're open 9 to 12. If you just want to come and shop for beef cuts, we are cash, check, or Venmo. No credit cards because we're in the middle of nowhere. The road before you get to the middle of nowhere. And so cell service and all those things are not great. So you can reach us on chapelcreek-farms.com or our Facebook, Chapel Creek Farms. And again, we hope to see you March the 12th at the Cider and Craft Fair, or you can come on Fridays and Saturdays and shop directly from our beef freezer.
Thank you again for listening to Talk Local to Me. Make sure to subscribe. You can subscribe on your Spotify, your Apple, or go to grovestreet.fm and click subscribe there.